जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय जय निताय गौरांगा निताय गौरांगा निताय गौरांगा गौर हरि जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की कौर पे बलंदे हरि हरि बोल। Okay, reading from 11th Canto, Chapter 1, text number 17. Please repeat after me. Tachrutva te ati santrasta vimuchya sahasodaram sambasya dadrishush tasmin mushalam khalu ayasamayam tachutva te ati santrasta tachutva te ati santrasta vimuchya sahasodaram sambasya dadrishastasmin sambasya dadrishustasmin mushalam khalavasmayam mushalam khalavayasmayam तच्छ्रुत्वा त्यति संत्रस्ता विमुच्य सहसोदरम् सांबस्य ददृशुस्तस्मिन् मुशलं खलव्यस्मयम् तच्छ्रुत्वा त्यति संत्रस्ता विमुच्य सहसोदरम् सांबस्य ददृशुस्तस्मिन् मुशलं खलव्यस्मयम्. Yes, please recite.
Tachrutva teti santrastha vimuchya sahasodaram sambasya dadrishustasmin musalam khalvayasmayam.
Vaishnavis. Tashrutvā teti santrasta vimuchya sahasodaram mushalam khalovayasmayam. What word meaning? tat, that, shrutva, having heard, te, they, ati santrastaha, extremely afraid, vimuchya, uncovering, sahasa, hastily, udaram, the belly, sambasya, of samba, dadrishuhu, they saw, tasmin, within it, mushalam, a club, khalu, indeed, ahamayam, ayahamayam, made of iron. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Upon hearing the curse of the sages, the terrified boys quickly uncovered the belly of Samba, and indeed they observed that therein was an iron club. Purport. Upon hearing the words of the Vaishnavas, headed by Narada, the Yadu boys lifted the garment covering Samba's abdomen and saw the fruit of the offense they had committed against Vaishnavas by their deceit. An actual club was there to destroy their dynasty. This example shows that in a polluted society, the club of duplicity can never bring the peace found in the society of devotees. Rather, such duplicity smashes all the non-devotional activities and whimsical doctrines of pseudo-devotees. The Yadu boys were wary about jeopardizing their advanced position, and indeed they had been thinking that as long as they kept their trickery concealed, others would never be able to detect such sophisticated cheating. Nonetheless, they were unable to protect their family from the reaction of their grievous offense against the devotees of the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nilachal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Bhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings from all the Vaishnavas so I can speak for self-purification and for glorification of the Lord. So this is a very interesting episode in Srimad Bhagavatam, which was supposed to be a humor outburst, but that turned into a tragedy. a humor turned into tragedy. That is the pastime. So for those who have joined us today, I'll speak a little bit about the background of this pastime. These young, powerful and very influential Yadus, namely the sons and nephews of Krishna, they wanted to have some fun. They had gone for a picnic. Picnic means a lot of fun. And they devised a plan. They dressed Samba, Krishna's one son, like a lady. And they also hid some iron pieces within his belly. And they covered it. So the funny part was that they would go to the sages present there and they would inquire, "Sir, would this girl bear a boy child or a girl child? Ladki hoga ya ladka hoga? Bata dijiye." And then whatever the sages would say, if they said boys or if they said girls, the boys, the Krishna's sons, they would just laugh. So that was supposed to happen, but it turned into a tragedy. In the previous verse, I'll just read the translation. The sages speak. In the translation it is said, ridiculed by the deceit, the sages became angry, and the sages replied, "Fools, she will bear you an iron club, and that will destroy your entire dynasty." And there was serious silence after this. So then, today's verse, it said, upon hearing the curse of the sages, the terrified boys. If the curse was given in today's age, nobody would be terrified. Because they don't trust the sages, nor do they trust their curses to be so harmful. But these boys were terrified because they came from cultured family. The terrified boys quickly uncovered the belly of Samba, and indeed they observed that therein was an iron club. So just as sages had cursed, they found an iron club. And everybody was totally scared. What to do now? So this episode actually highlights if you can be son of Krishna, but if you offend Vaishnavas, you can only expect devastation. Similarly, we see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, when Shachi Mata's elder son, Vishwarup, took sannyas, because he used to regularly associate with Advaita Acharya. Yesterday was Advaita Acharya's appearance day. So Vishwarup would regularly go to Advaita Acharya, and therefore when Vishwarup accepted sannyas, Shachi Mata accused Advaita Acharya for having taken her son away. Natural for any Indian mother. तुमने मेरे बेटे को सन्यासी बना दिया. And she did not say anything. In her mind, she just thought, this Advaita is not Advaita. He is Advaita. He is Dvaita Maya. He just thought in his mind. And during Mahaprakash Leela, when Mahaprabhu was calling everyone for mercy, he did not call Shachi Mata. So Srivas Thakur was the one to take initiative. He said, "My Lord, you're calling everyone except your mother, who is mother of devotion. She is Yashoda." And Mahaprabhu said, "I'll not call her. She'll not get my mercy because she has offended Advaita Acharya." So very heavy instruction by the Lord himself. You be my son or my mother. Even if you are my son or my mother, you'll not get my mercy if you commit Vaishnava Aparadh. So there is one very interesting purport by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam 5th Canto, 1st chapter, text number 5, 5.1.5. So there Prabhupada writes that there are only two obstacles in spiritual advancement. How many obstacles? Only two. Only two. So we may think, if we make a chart here, suppose I write the problems, obstacles, different devotees will tell different obstacles. And somebody may say laziness. Somebody may say, what are your obstacles in Krishna consciousness? Yes, sir? Laziness. That too I always had. Ego.
Or conditionings.
Conditionings from past. Yes, sir. Uncontrolled senses. What else? Mind. What else? But you will be surprised. You will be surprised. Prabhupada quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in that purport. And Prabhupada says there are only two obstacles. Are you interested to know what are those two obstacles? No. Prabhupada says first is Krishna's will. कृष्ण भी मजे लेते हैं कभी कभी, वो मजा आता है. So by Krishna's will also sometimes devotee faces obstacles in his Krishna consciousness. Krishna exchanges bhava, anxiety bhava with his devotee. 1.9.19 purport. Purpose is that Krishna exchanges anxiety bhava with his devotee. So okay, if it is Krishna's will, what can be done? Can we do anything about Krishna's will? Krishna is Swarat, Swatantra. Nobody can obstruct his will. He gets whatever he desires. Apta Kama. His will is a fact. As soon as he wills, it becomes a fact. That is God. Isn't it? So what can we do about it? We can do nothing about it. So better not to discuss about Krishna's will. What quota of challenges he has for us in our life, we don't know. But the second obstacle is something that we can do about. The second obstacle, Prabhupada quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in that purport, is Vaishnav Aparadh. There are only two obstacles. There is no mind, there is no uncontrolled senses, there is no laziness, nothing. Only Vaishnava Aparadh. Which means Vaishnava Aparadh feeds all the other obstacles and makes it more difficult for us to overcome those obstacles. And on the other hand, let us not just talk about negative. On the other hand, blessings of Vaishnavas can do wonders. If Vaishnava Aparadh is an obstacle, and that means only obstacle, because Krishna's will is one obstacle, but we can do nothing about it. But the only obstacle remains is Vaishnava Aparadh. Now, if we are facing obstacles, it means either we don't know what is Vaishnava Aparadh, or we know but we are careless about it. So therefore, such heavy pastimes. Samba, Krishna's son, Krishna's very dear son, is going to incur the effect of the offenses. So Vaishnava's blessings can also do wonder, great wonder. There is nothing that cannot be achieved with the blessings of Vaishnavas. In fact, Krishna becomes obliged when Vaishnavas bless someone. If Krishna refuses someone, but Vaishnavas bless, then Krishna has to accept that person. What is the famous pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita? King Pratap Rudra. Mahaprabhu straight away refused to meet him. Mahaprabhu said, Mahaprabhu quoted also a very heavy verse. What is that? Nishkinchanasya bhagavan bhajanon mukhasya param param jigmasur bhavasagarasya. Age? Sandarshanam vishainam yat sayoshitam ahanta hanta. So Mahaprabhu quotes that very heavy verse and says, I am not going to see Pratap Rudra. Pahad mein jaye. But then Pratap Rudra did not give up hope. And he also did not take it on his ego. Who is this Chaitanya? What does he think about himself? If he doesn't see me, that means, will I not get mercy? I am serving Jagannath directly. He didn't say like that. Everything was under his control. He was king of Puri. In fact, he engaged all his energy in serving the Vaishnavas. So first blessings he received was from Ramananda Rai. Although Ramananda Rai was a very important person for him, but King Pratap Rudra gave him retirement with full salary. You get pension after retirement, 50%. But King Prataparudra gave Ramananda Rai retirement with full salary. Double salary, huh? Double salary. Oh. So different mathematics. Instead of multiplying with 1 by 2, you multiplied by 2. Okay. Double salary. So, and Ramananda Rai was so happy with King Prataparudra. So Ramananda Rai glorified King Prataparudra before Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya said, because he has served you, Ramananda Rai, because King Prataparudra has served you, therefore he will surely attain Krishna's mercy. So Mahaprabhu was planning to give him mercy, but that was the first installment. He pleased Ramananda Rai. Then there are many such episodes. Then devotees would come to Mahaprabhu and say that King Prataparudra wants to have your darshan, one audience. And Mahaprabhu said, if you push me too much, I will go to Alalnath. I will not see him. But when they pushed too much, Mahaprabhu said, okay, send his son. And Mahaprabhu gave his mercy to the son. But King Prataparudra kept serving Mahaprabhu. In fact, when Mahaprabhu was going to Vrindavan, you read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, King Prataparudra arranged for all prasadam and accommodation places of Lord Chaitanya as far as he could. As long as he was traveling in the jurisdiction of Prataparudra, there were palaces, rooms constructed for Lord Chaitanya's stay, and his prasadam was arranged. In fact, when he even crossed the boundary of Odisha, Mahaprabhu's Prataparudra's one associate, one minister, one officer was negotiating with the king of the next territory. Our sannyasi wants to go, please take care of him, like that. So King Prataparudra did not give up. He was very, very kind to Vaishnavas, and therefore Mahaprabhu accepted him finally. You know that pastime. Then we see another pastime comes in Mahabharata. The Agni Dev had indigestion. And for Agni, the medicine for indigestion is herbs. He takes Ayurvedic. So but he doesn't take Ayurvedic like us. He wanted to consume the entire forest, Khandavaprasthas. What was the obstacle? The obstacle was Indra, another demigod, more powerful than Agni, king of all demigods. Because Indra's one friend, Takshak, lived there. So Agni knew how to get the work done. He went to Arjuna and he sought help from Arjuna. See, I have upset stomach. I want to consume medicines, but these demigods would not allow me. Please help me. So Arjuna said, Tathastu. Aap khao, hum dekh lenge. So there also Krishna was riding his chariot, because Agni gave him a chariot. And Krishna was riding his chariot, driving, and Arjuna single-handedly defeated all the demigods, including Indra, and allowed Agni to consume the forest. From the forest came one demon called Mayadanav. And when Mayadanav was escaping from the fire, Krishna released the Sudarshan Chakra. So who can escape Sudarshan Chakra? Can anyone escape Sudarshan Chakra? Any historical events? Only Durvasa Muni escaped. And that too by mercy of Ambrish Maharaj. So here also, Mayadana was very intelligent. He knew that there was no rescue from Sudarshan Chakra. So he went and fell at the feet of Arjuna. Please save me. Arjuna said, Abhaydan. Tathastu. And Krishna said, oh Arjuna, what did you do? You saved this Mayadana, I wanted to kill him. But Krishna could not kill him. Krishna wanted to kill him but could not kill him because he took shelter of Arjuna, a devotee. Similarly, we see Nalguver and Manigriv, another pastime. They were intoxicated with not only liquor but also with pride. They were sons of the most opulent, most wealthy demigod, Kubera's sons. So they were taking bath in Mandakini Ganga, and they were with their girlfriends, many of them, and no one was dressed. They were all naked. So Narad Muni feels compassion that they come from such good families and they are wasting their life in futile sense enjoyment. Let me go and bless them. So Narad Muni goes there. We all know the pastime. So the ladies, their girlfriends, they quickly cover their bodies, but they were still standing naked. And Narad Muni curses them to become two trees in the house of Narad. He says, you become two trees because trees have full facility to show their bodies. So you will become trees. And then they begin to lament. Then they realize what has happened. Something similar to this episode. Here Krishna's kinsmen were intoxicated with pride. And when they saw club, they became very serious. They became wary about jeopardizing their advanced position. Similarly, Nalkuber and Manigriv also became wary, savdhan, about jeopardizing their advanced position. So Narad Muni says, okay, you are going to become trees, but Krishna will come and deliver both of you. I was wondering when I read that, did Narad Muni ask Krishna, कि भाई आप आओगे क्या? He didn't ask Krishna. He just gave guarantee on behalf of Krishna. Krishna आएंगे और आपका उद्धार करेंगे. Another, abundant mercy of a Vaishnava. Another episode. If I use your ATM card, debit card or credit card, I must take your permission. If I spend all your money, then you will file a case against me. You will at least abuse me. You will quarrel with me. अरे मेरा पैसा लेके कैसे खर्च कर दे? Isn't it? But Narad Muni does not take Krishna into confidence, does not take permission from Krishna. He says Krishna will come and he will deliver you. And Krishna becomes obliged. So Krishna delivers Nalkuber and Manigriv. I don't know if there are any pastime in Puranas that state about the secrecy of this hidden line of this pastime. But at least we know that Narad did not inquire from Krishna. Did not take Krishna into confidence before giving the blessing to the Nalkuber and Manigriv. So therefore, Jiva Goswami says in Bhakti Sandarbha, he says that when somebody aspires to surrender to Krishna is also not very easy. It's difficult. But if somebody aspires to surrender to Krishna, does Maya leave him? No. Maya does not leave. Maya will chase. Maya doesn't leave. He says, but Krishna will not stop Maya from chasing the devotee unless the devotee fully surrenders to Krishna. When one fully surrenders to Krishna, there is no Maya. But as long as we are only aspiring to surrender to Krishna, there will be effect of Maya. So what is a shelter? What is a hope? So Jiva Goswami says that, and actually it may appear that Krishna is very cruel. It may appear. See, I am trying to sincerely surrender to Krishna, but Maya is not leaving me. I want to give up Maya, but Maya doesn't want to give me up. It may appear very cruel. So Jiva Goswami says, yes, Maya doesn't relieve unless we fully surrender. Radhanath Maharaj ka ek lecture bhi hai na, Maya will not leave you until you fully surrender. But Jiva Goswami says that there is a hope, and that is Vaishnava Sangha. He says Krishna has not made arrangement for aspirants. Aspirants will be troubled by Maya. Only when you become perfect, you will not feel any influence of Maya. But aspirants will be troubled by Maya, but there is a shelter, and shelter is Vaishnava Sangha. So there are planetary influences. I was talking with one devotee. He said, Ketu, when your dasha is Ketu, your mind becomes bewildered. You see day as night and night as day. Maya नहीं लगती है और कृष्ण नहीं लगते हैं. So what can we do? We can read scriptures, but how long can we alone read scriptures? Ekaki amar nahi paye bal. Hari naam sankirtan. There is Hari naam, but we don't have strength to take shelter of Harinam. So therefore, the only shelter is Vaishnava Sangha. Therefore, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that in any condition one should not leave Vaishnava Sangha. No matter what happens, one should never give up devotee association. Even the most sinful of all sinful person will become perfect if they don't give up Vaishnava Sangha. कुछ भी करना है लेकिन वैष्णव संघ को नहीं छोड़ना है, कुछ भी करके, at any cost. So this was first part of my class. Second part, I want to talk something practical which we require to be a gentleman in Vaishnava Sangha. We also have to know how to live in Vaishnava Sangha, isn't it? I was in Nishtha camp, youth forum ko jo Nishtha camp hota hai, Chowpatty, and one boy asked, Gaurang Prabhu was giving lecture, one boy asked Gaurang Prabhu, Prabhuji, how do we swiftly sail from Anarth Nivritti to Nishtha? उसको लगा कुछ फार्मूला होता है, ऐसे करके मिला दो कर दो, हो गया, some chemical equation. So first Gaurang Prabhu started laughing. He said, swiftly sail. So then he said very humbly, politely, he said, I cannot say because I am not on Nishtha, but I can say what Jiva Goswami says about it. So Jiva Goswami says you can make faster advancement by two things, again attentive chanting and attentive dealing. दो ही चीज सीखना है जीवन में, attentive chanting and attentive dealing. श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So we just have to learn two things, how to chant and how to behave. बस और कुछ नहीं सीखना है. We may know cooking or we may not know cooking, doesn't matter. We may lead a very sweet kirtan or we may not be able to lead a kirtan, doesn't matter. We may be a good orator or may not be orator, doesn't matter. But if we don't know how to chant, it matters. If we don't know how to behave, it matters. And it matters a lot. So therefore, in order to behave well, we have to know how our words are affecting others. It's very important. And as we grow in seniority, our words have more influence. One devotee was giving an example. If you throw a stone from 5 feet, it will have impact. But if you throw the same stone from 50 feet, 5th story, that will have larger impact. Similarly, as we grow higher in seniority, our words have more impact. And we have to be very careful of what we are speaking and how it is affecting others. Sensitivity in dealings. There are two terms called empathy and sympathy. Sympathy, does anyone know what sympathy means? सांत्वना, किसी को पता है? Yes, bro.
We don't feel his feelings, but we just console him.
Yeah, we feel for others. That is sympathy. But sympathy can also sound terrible. For example, somebody fell in a pit. कोई गिर गया गड्ढे में. तो sympathy is, ओ प्रभु बहुत बुरा हुआ. This can also sound sarcasm. है ना? अरे बहुत बुरा हुआ. है ना? But empathy means not only to feel for others' suffering, but also to be present to relieve them, to help them, to feel how they are feeling. That is empathy. So somebody falls in a pit, and empathy is, oh, you fell in a pit, but don't worry, we are here. I'll help you as best as I can. That is empathy. So, Maharaj Radhanath Maharaj says that only thing lacking in this world is love and compassion. And love and compassion is expressed through our actions and also through words. So very important how we speak, what we speak. And situation sensitivity. In what situation we speak what. So we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's not something new, but Lord Chaitanya practiced it. Mahaprabhu would crack jokes, but according to situation. He also said Raghunath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami's father, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, his father and uncle were feeding practically all the Brahmanas of Navadvip. Have you ever heard Advaita Acharya, Jagannath Mishra, or Gadadhar Pandit? They went for a job. Who was maintaining them? Raghunath Das's father used to send lot of charity. So he was maintaining them. But when Mahaprabhu meets Raghunath Das Goswami, when Raghunath Das Goswami escapes from his home and meets him in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu says, your father and uncle are like two worms in the stool pit. क्या बोल रहे? मैं सोच रहा था कि ऐसा भी नहीं बोलना चाहिए. This is too much. But that he spoke that in a very light mood. And perhaps, I was not there, but perhaps Raghunath Das Goswami must have also laughed. And he indicated why he was saying that. He said, because they are too materially attached. therefore they're like two worms in a stool pit. So Mahaprabhu had that situation sensitivity. But when Nityanand Prabhu kicks Shivanand Sen and his nephew Shrikant becomes upset. So Shrikant sees Mahaprabhu, who is a sannyasi now, first time in Jagannath Puri. He offers him obeisances in stitched cloth. So the etiquette is that one should offer obeisances to a sannyasi not in stitched cloth. Uttari, dhoti, us type ka kuch. Like we go in the altar also with unstitched clothes. You can see Vrindavan Charipu always. So that is the etiquette to offer obeisances to a sannyasi. And Shrikant offers obeisances to Mahaprabhu with stitched clothes. And Mahaprabhu's servant, Govinda, was about to correct Shrikant. Mahaprabhu stops him. He says, wait, he's already disturbed. Don't disturb him further. पहले परेशान है. So Mahaprabhu exhibits that situation sensitivity. And we see also in Mahabharata there is another episode when Arjuna's son Abhimanyu died. So Arjuna was fighting in a front that was far from where Abhimanyu died. If you've been to Kurukshetra, there is a village called Amin. It's called Amin, where Abhimanyu was killed. And this Kurukshetra was extended up to 150 kilometers. It was such a huge war. Crores of people were fighting with each other. So Arjuna was on another front, and Abhimanyu was in this front trying to penetrate Chakravyuh. He penetrated but ultimately died. And every day it was a custom, or rather you can say every day it was a observation that when Arjuna would come from battlefield, Abhimanyu would personally greet him. And there would be music, and Abhimanyu would go and embrace his father, Arjuna, and they would laugh and joke for some time, and then Arjuna would laugh and joke with other family members, his brothers and others. But this day when Abhimanyu was killed and Arjuna returned from battlefield, Arjuna could sense there was a weird silence. Kuch to gadbad hai. There were no dance, there was no music. And where was his son who would come to greet him? Nobody was seen. So Arjuna became doubtful. And he saw when he entered the tent, the camp, upon seeing Arjuna, the faces of other Pandavas were hanging down. Even Krishna was upset. Krishna was also sitting there. So Arjuna inquires, why don't I see my dear son Abhimanyu today? Where is that warrior who used to shatter the hearts of my enemies? I don't see him today. What has happened? Can someone tell me? And nobody wanted to speak a bad news. There was a silence. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj told him, your son Abhimanyu is no more. And Arjuna was devastated to hear this. He couldn't look at his brothers. who were carrying different weapons. He said, are these weapons only ornaments on your body? You could not together protect my son? How did you allow a 16-year-old boy to enter in the middle of enemy? Is any sobriety left in this assembly? He was accusing his brothers. Because they were with him when they entered Chakravyuh, but they could not penetrate with Abhimanyu, so Abhimanyu went alone inside the Chakravyuh. I presume that you know the story. And they were supposed to go with him inside the Chakravyuh, but they could not go inside. In Bhima, Yudhishthir, Nakul, Sahadev, because of a curse of, or rather a blessing from Lord Shiva to Jayadratha. So that day Jayadratha had alone defeated and stopped Yudhishthir, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev. And that's how Abhimanyu was killed. So Arjuna became fiery, his eyes were emitting fire, and his words were very deeply penetrating. Nobody could even look at the face of Arjuna. So Krishna understands the situation sensitivity. Krishna gets up from his seat, places his hand on the shoulder of Arjuna. Now he could not accuse Krishna because Krishna had vowed not to take any weapon, and Krishna was with Arjuna. There was no question of accusing Krishna. Although he's hurling the accusers, he's saying all the bad words and everything. But they understood, and Krishna also understood. It is just a outburst of anger, and it is just a spike. Spike. Upar jaake niche aata hai. So Krishna said, "Oh Arjuna, don't think that we are not deeply saddened by your son's premature demise. Just as you are aggrieved with the departure of your son, we are also equally aggrieved. Don't think we did not offer our protection. Don't think your brothers did not offer their protection to Abhimanyu. But a good person, a sober person, acts in such a way to improve a situation, not to worsen a situation. By accusing your brothers now and shouting at them, you are worsening the situation. Don't think that they did not try their best. So it behooves you, it befits you to keep calm now and think about tomorrow's war strategy." Anyway, so this is how Krishna pacified Arjuna. I was listening to one bad example. One devotee went to his counselor, he said, "Prabhuji, my father abused me when I was young." And the counselor said, "Hey, don't talk negativity." Don't talk negativity. Talk only positive. Counselor speaking. So, situation sensitivity is very important in order to deal with Vaishnavas. And of course, we need to build a community of compassion and love and trust. That is more important than building the temples. A temple will survive for another 1,000 years, but a good example will survive for all the eternity to come. An example of love and compassion will go down in the history and will set a thing right forever. All we have is some time and some choices. And in those choices, we can set a good example of love and compassion and leave a legacy of selfless service. It is more important to leave a good example than to leave a building constructed. Because buildings will come and buildings will deteriorate. But good examples will never deteriorate. So therefore, all Vaishnavas, all devotees need to learn all of us need to learn, including me. I'm not chastising anyone. But we need to learn how to properly behave according to situation, sensitively. Because if a Vaishnava's heart is hurt, even unintentionally, we get the reaction for it. we bear the reaction for it. Of course, we can't please everyone, but that should be at least our intention. At least our intention should be to please everyone and not displease anyone. And therefore, Rupa Goswami's first instruction, starts with Vachovegam. Because we violate the conducts of good behavior mostly through our tongue. Vachovegam. So therefore, before even speaking about the Tannam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smartyo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya, you engage your mind in Krishna's holy name, pastime, form, and all these things. First thing he speaks is Vachovegam. First of all, manage your tongue. Manasa Krodhamegam, manage your anger. Because things spoken in anger cannot be repaired later on. It's we pay a very heavy price to repair those damages that we speak out of uncontrolled senses. So therefore, it's a duty of all devotees, every sober person, if you want to become successful as a family man, successful as a counselor, successful as a devotee, successful as a leader, successful in any way, you must learn to control the senses. One who has learned to control the senses has conquered the world. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udarupastha Vegam. And then we see that we can have a very congenial relationship. We can learn how to behave very well with all the devotees and leave a legacy of selfless service, which will stay forever, not the buildings. So leaving a legacy of a good example is more important than leaving the buildings when we leave this world. Our good example will please the Guru more than the buildings we construct. And if a Guru is pleased only with buildings and not concerned about Vaishnava relationship, it's not a bona fide Guru. That Guru himself is not a bona fide Guru. Guru is, Prabhupada writes in that purport, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course he was Nimai Pandit that time, when Nimai Pandit goes Gaya and first day he gets initiation, second day exhibits all the ecstatic symptoms very fast. No sadhana bhakti. If that happens, then whole world will become Krishna conscious. Anyway, that is Mahaprabhu. Next day exhibits all the ecstatic symptoms and he reports to his Guru Ishwar Puri, Kiba mantra dila gosai kiba tara bal, japite man hoilo pagal. So Ishwar Puri becomes very happy. He says, Bhalo hoiya, bahut acha hua tumhare saath. You have attained love of Godhead. So Prabhupada writes in purport there that a Guru is not pleased when disciple brings him money. But Guru is pleased when disciple develops love for Krishna. And for us, sadhakas, love for Krishna is a very far-fetched goal. For us, a better goal, or a near goal, and a realizable goal is to love Vaishnavas. And to leave an example of loving Vaishnavas. That is a tangible goal for us, achievable goal for us. So Guru is pleased when we love Vaishnavas more than any other accomplishments. And yeah, this is applicable in every sphere of life. If a family man wants to become successful, then this is the formula. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. Then one can raise a family very lovingly. Okay, I'll stop here. Time is up, 9 o'clock. Anybody has any comments? Any critics? Yes, bro.
Telling that Vaishnava frees all other conditioning and but then many times due to uncontrolled senses and mind becoming Vaishnava. So it seems to be a
yes, actually those other obstacles like laziness or uncontrolled mind, they become cause of Vaishnava aparadh. You are right. So therefore we also work upon them simultaneously, controlling the senses We don't control the senses, so we become Jitendriya and our name is cast in golden letters. that we stayed Brahmachari lifelong and all that. No, nothing. We control the senses so that we can serve the mission, serve Guru, and we can love Vaishnavas. We can be above the Vaishnava. We're not carried away. Because Vegam, see na, Vacho Vegam. Vegam means force. It's a force. And it carries away our discrimination. That is a force. Here, this sons of Krishna, they are also under a force. Mansa Vegam. In their mind, they thought of making fun. Chalo, sab logon ko hasate hain. This is Mansa Vegam. They thought of, so it's a force that carries away. So therefore, we also simultaneously work on them, so we can avoid Vaishnava Apradh. And in fact, we focus on seeking the blessings of Vaishnavas. Our focus should not be only to avoid the Apradh, but our focus should be how to seek the blessings of Vaishnavas. Imagine a community where everybody is seeking the blessings of others. What an amazing preaching example. Whoever comes in touch with that community, without reading books, would want to be part of that community. Isn't it? Imagine a community where everybody is concerned only about himself. Selfish. Nobody would like to be part of that community. Isn't it? So we should endeavor in that direction towards selfless service. Okay. Yes, Raj. Mic ta ache? I mean, I'm also working on these thoughts, but these were some thoughts that I'm working on and shared with all of you. It's not that I'm perfect in them.
So, Maharaj Prabhu is all empowered that every time he has a very thoughtful presentation which makes people deeply think in the practices. So I really appreciate Vaishnava Apradh and also the aspect of sensitivity. I'm sure everybody is reflecting very deeply. Right, so I've seen it's very thought-provoking. Thank you very much. Just wanted to make an add-on point, not to this thing. When Srila Prabhupada speaks about making temples, it's to extend that same loving Vaishnavism. So it's actually extension. Like when you love Vaishnavas, you want Krishna's love to be shared. You want everyone to get that opportunity. So you're feeling so fulfilled in your community that you want everyone to be a part of the community. So all these monuments are actually the foundation of the same principle. And when this principle is in place, then it naturally manifests. So these are not like this is an aspect I just wanted to add. Yes. But yes, if the person is thinking that this is more important than the other, then it becomes like
not one at the cost of other. Both are important, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare